Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Destry, and you're watching a man's slow descent into madness. So if you watched the first two videos of the series, the first being where we explored where I grew up, and the second being where I moved after that, in both videos I had alluded to the next place that I had moved, a horrible chapter of my life I refer to as only the Florida Saga. And much to my utter dismay, it seems as though enough of you were interested to hear about it, so at long last, and without further ado, the Florida Saga. Also, as always with these videos, there will more than likely be an extended edition over on my Patreon at patreon.com/CaptainDestes. As I've said, I tend to just kind of go off on even more stories and tangents that I need to. So if you want to support the channel and get some extra content, you can go check that out. So where to begin? Well, I guess we'll start it as most people start it when they move to Florida. My newfound heroin addiction. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not my story. That's everyone else. You know what? I'll have you know, 30 years, no drugs. No, that's not true. Sometimes I do get pretty crazy on Z-Quil, you know, ibuprofen, all of that stuff. So yeah, my philosophy is who needs drugs when you make terrible enough decisions without them, am I right? High five. So as I mentioned in the last video, at some point in 2011, my manager at the time somehow convinced me to move to Orlando, Florida. The dingy, musty nutsack of America. Florida, where your wildest dreams go to die. Florida, a place so terrible that no amount of sinister music or creepy fonts can even scratch the surface as to the vastness of its terribleness. A place so horrible that even when you type in Orlando on this map view, it doesn't even have an image. It just says, "Don't come here" in all caps. And you know, I guess the first question some of you guys might have is, you know, why? Why did you move to Florida? When it seems like the only people that live there are either 107 years old and ready to retire, or a man high on crack who bit a guy's nose off while throwing an alligator through a Wendy's drive-thru window. Well, I am one of those things, but ultimately it came down to just that, you know, I had never lived in a city before, and the fact that my manager at the time had lived in Orlando and was saying like, oh yeah, come out here, there's so many opportunities and you'll definitely not get fucking ramen and spit thrown at you by homeless dudes. So, you know, because I was like a spring chicken or whatever that expression is, that I just had not yet experienced what it was like to live in a city. And like for most of my life, because I lived in small towns, as you guys have seen, like the idea of living in a city sounded awesome, which, you know, hindsight, it was fucking awful, but we'll get into it. God damn it. Even typing this place in, I'm just like, oh my God. Is it cool if we just don't do this video? I just don't want to show you anything in Florida. This place sucks. Honestly, Destry, the Florida jokes are getting pretty old. You can stop. What joke? Where's the joke? Help me find the joke here on Google Maps. No, I can't find it. So the first place I had moved into in Florida was a house, which, as you can see here, it was actually pretty dang nice. You know, from the outside, it looks very unassuming. You know, you'd see this house and you'd be like, yeah, I'd live there. That seems pretty cool. It's not! It's not pretty cool, okay? And where to even start, really, with this one? Like, first off, there were cockroaches that just infested the fucking house. And I'm not talking like little sweet little boy cockroaches like this big. They were like this fucking long. Dude, I just looked up a picture of one and I'm just fucking cringing. I'm not gonna touch the ground right now. I hate this so much. Yeah, they were like these fucking things. Do you see this thing? And they were just crawling around the house like this. And I remember specifically one time, like one was like kind of like laying on its back and we assumed it was dead. It wasn't. Like, my friend went over and like touched it, like poked it, you know, and it like literally latched onto his hand and he screamed like a girl, and it was the most hilarious thing. But it did not take away the seriousness of how bad the infestation of cockroaches were in this place. I like how I'm still just sitting up here, like I'm not touching the ground ever again. The second thing about this place was that there wasn't a washer and dryer, so anytime that we wanted to go do laundry, we had to go like a few miles away to a laundromat. Don't know if you guys have ever been to a fucking laundromat, but they're always sketchy. Show me on this map where there's a place where you could do laundry where there isn't a man outside trying to buy my kidneys from me non-consensually. So yeah, that was bad. And as if that weren't bad enough, we also had an infestation of ants in this place. And normally you would hate having like big stinking carpenter ants, but I would have preferred those over the teeny like fucking millimeter tall, I don't know why I went to the metric system, but millimeter tall ants that we had that were just everywhere. There would be times where like I would fucking take my sheet up and there would just be like hundreds of little ants that you could barely see on the sheet. And then, you know, anytime I was in the far back room of this house, which was a studio, essentially, they were just all over the fucking walls, too. Oh, it was the worst, dude. Oh, and another thing that was infesting us in this house was something that I like to refer to as the bad hair demon. I have no idea why, but it just seemed like anytime I tried to do my hair in this house, it was fucking impossible and it always looked like shit. You guys ever have that? Where like, maybe it's just the type of water or whatever, but it's just like some places, man, they just don't let your hair look good. But despite how terrible all the things I mentioned about this house were, I still filmed a lot of cool videos in here. I don't even know 12 was in here. This is where we filmed one of the Don't Play with Photo Booth videos.
My father was a snail. My father! Curse him.
I think this was the house that I made Caves of Ice my first ever single in.
Every time that I look into your eyes, it feels like I'm breathing sunlight.
You know, even though that is my song, I still to this day have no idea what it feels like to breathe sunlight. What does that mean? But yeah, ultimately, this was probably the worst house I'd ever stayed in, and that's saying a lot if you know the other places that I had mentioned earlier on in these series, because it wasn't just the fact that it was like infested with cockroaches and fucking ants and was terrible, but it was also the fact that it was in Florida. Because in Idaho, even though the place was shitty, at least I could go outside and the rest of the world wasn't shitty around me. In Florida, it's just a basket of dicks wherever you go. It's muggy, it's hot, it's humid, feels like you're breathing through a wet towel, as I always say, because it's truly, that's how it feels. So, yeah, so I lived in this place for probably like a year. It really didn't take that long for me to realize how fucking shitty this place was. And so I moved out of this place and moved into an apartment complex again, a little bit down the road. And let me show you guys where that was. Oh, right here. Okay, it was right here. From the outside, again, you would probably see this place and think like, oh wow, that's really pretty, and like, oh, those apartments don't look too bad. Well, you know, the apartments weren't bad, but let me tell you a story of literally the first week we moved in. So, within the first week of moving into these apartments, I shit you not, we hear this loud fucking bang, and we're like, huh, I wonder what that was. We go outside, there's a bunch of police inside the complex, and we're like, what the fuck's going on? And I end up going down and like talking to neighbors because they were also standing outside, and I was like, what's going on? And the neighbor literally said, oh, there was a fatal shooting. I was like, oh, sick. I love where I live. This is wonderful. So even though this was all in Florida and this place fucking sucks, the apartment I actually had somewhat decent memories at. Hey, decent is better than terrible, okay? The apartment is actually where I started my album, so Sailing Home was pretty much all conceptualized in this apartment. And at the time also that I was doing Sailing Home, I was working with some producers that helped on the album as well, and they lived just right down the road, like down this road here. One of the best memories I have of this whole, you know, time in Florida was that I had actually bought a scooter. And I'm not talking about like, you know, a fucking Razor scooter. I bought an actual motor scooter. So I took a picture of it and posted it on my Instagram. Because I was like, look how cool this scooter is next to my fucking 2000 Dodge Neon. But it was a happy time in my life. Pretty much every day I would be driving my scooter to the producer's house to work on Sailing Home, eat some fucking chicken with them, and then come back to my little apartment, my 2-bedroom apartment here. And, you know, big thing that actually happened here was this is where I started doing What the Fuck News from, was this apartment.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to the very first episode of What the Fuck News.
You know, at the time, Shane had like reached out to me and asked if I wanted to be a part of his channel and do stuff with him, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm really nervous. Honestly, when we were first kind of conceptualizing What the Fuck News, I didn't know if I was going to do it because I didn't really consider myself like into the news. Like I didn't like the news. I never caught up with it. And so to be asked to do it, I was kind of afraid, and I'm really glad I said yes, obviously, because now a lot of people know me from that and stuff. But yeah, I just remember at the time, like I was like, dude, I'm so nervous because I'm opening myself up to his channel and his audience, and it's not like I'm going to be collaborating with him because he's not going to be in these videos. It's literally just going to be me talking and hoping that his audience like opens up to me and stuff. And you know, obviously if you guys saw my old What the Fuck News on Shane's channel, like a lot of the people on there were very positive. It's just you would always get comments that were like, where's Shane? To the point where like I almost thought about making it into a shirt because I'm like, dude, it'd just be fun and just like, where's Shane? And I actually filmed a lot of videos at this apartment. I guess I was just in a creative headspace because I wasn't constantly being bit by cockroaches and ants all the time. But yeah, I had made like 3, I don't even know, videos, maybe even 4, honestly. This was also where I had filmed Destry Kills a Laptop, where I threw my friend's laptop into the fucking lake.
Destry, no! No!
I did a lot of Q&A videos here as well. Probably the most popular one is Q&A 38, which now for some reason has 1,309,000 views. Okay, but yeah, that was a fun time in my life. Speaking of fun times in my life about this apartment, this was also around the time that I had cut my hair, and I'm sure you guys can all remember what that looked like. I feel like I'm making an apology video for why I cut my hair. I'm so sorry. It wasn't bad. Honestly, like, I know fucking people meme on it, like, Destry, your forehead was fucking higher than the Appalachian mountain range. You know, meme on me all you want to, but, you know, I think it was fine. Obviously, it wasn't me, because I just went back to this hairstyle and stuff, but that was a fucking experience. Also, it was in this apartment that I got my first kitty, Calcifer, who when I first got her was not this large or sleepy.
Hi there.
But she is as much my precious angel then as she is now. You want to hang out? You want to sit? Okay, bye. But yeah, we got her from like a shelter a couple miles down the road, and she was like tiny, little tiny creature. Oh my god. She's so cute. Yeah, that was one thing about her as like a little kitten, is that she had the biggest goddamn paws. So... yeah, she was really playful back then, and now she's just a fat bitch, so it's okay. She doesn't understand human language. What's that? You can? You're gonna kill? Okay, sorry. So those were the only 2 places that I had lived when I lived in Florida. But as for like other things that I would do when I was here, well, there wasn't that much, honestly. As I mentioned, part of the reason that I was even moving to Florida to begin with was that I was going to be working more closely with my manager, who actually worked just down the road at a place called AKT, which was down this road here. And so, you know, every once in a while, my friends and I would go here and like we would just film stuff in their studio, because they had like a studio set up, and we actually were hired at that point to do a show called Proper Perversions on another channel. Some of you guys might remember that.
Or having just good old-fashioned man time.
And you know, we also had filmed stuff here, like I think, I don't even know, 13, one of the I don't even know videos were filmed in this studio as well. And then we also filmed like a ton of Q&As and stuff in here as well. Other than that though, let's see. One of my ex-girlfriends I met in this Subway right there. It was pretty awesome. My pickup line I used on her was, I'll have a medium turkey on wheat. And we just fell instantly in love after that. I love how like, okay, so right here, it looks like shit in the sky, right? Like kind of rainy, cloudy a little bit. You get on this side of the street though, and it's like clear as day. That's literally the yin and yang of Florida in a nutshell right there. It's like you get on this side, sucks ass. On this side, nice. That was literally the 2 types of weather that there were in Florida. Is it was either rainy as fuck or sunny as fuck. Either way, it was miserable, because like if it was rainy, you didn't want to do anything. If it was too sunny, you didn't want to do anything. But anyways, this was like the main road that we would go down all the time, and this was our kind of grocery store, which is called Publix. I always called it Publix. Ha 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 ha, laugh track. And then I would also, there was a Jersey Mike's over here that I would just always eat at, like always, every single fucking day. I'm pretty sure like 90% of my stomach is made of Jersey Mike's. Also, there was Taco Bell down this road. Let's go visit my old stomping ground of a Taco Bell. Right here. Oh yes, here's the Taco Bell that I always go to. I'd get flapping dick amounts of diarrhea there. I had a girlfriend when I first moved to Florida who lived down this road, and that was the girlfriend that I broke up with using pictures of bears. Don't know if you remember that. Yeah, real story. I was actually like, listen, I know things have been unbearable lately, but you gotta bear with me for a second. Yeah, I never heard from her again. Oh yeah, no, there was a Chipotle over here. God, you know the place you lived was terrible when you're like, oh, there was a Chipotle. I had so many fucking burritos here. I remember, though, one time I went into this Chipotle and I was trying to hit... No, my friend was trying to hit on the girl that worked there. And he was like, if you were a Pokemon, I would choose you. And she just like left and went into the back. Speaking of food, also down this road, I'm gonna show you a place that truly changed my life as I got addicted to their food.
Where are you? Where's Rachel?
All right, yeah, here we go. So guys, the place I would eat all the time, TGI Fridays. Yeah, dude, I would come to this TGI Fridays seriously, like weekly, because I was addicted to one of their entrees, which was the shrimp chicken Cajun pasta. Should I even look at this? I feel like I'm just gonna have a relapse. Oh my God. Oh my God, dude, just looking at it, I'm like so horny. Holy shit, dude. Everyone else is like, what are you talking about, dude? This looks disgusting. No, man, it was so good, okay? So every single week I would have that pasta, and it got to the point where, like, if I was ever grumpy, like, my girlfriend would know that I hadn't had my Cajun shrimp chicken pasta because I'd be grumpy at her. She's like, have you had your pasta this week? I'm like, no! Also, what the fuck is this name? East Lake Tohopigalika? Tohopigalika. Do you think people drown in this lake and then the police officers have no idea how to pronounce it? It's like, we found a body in East Lake Tohopigalika. Where? And so all the places that I've shown you here so far were actually part of a smaller kind of sub-city of Orlando called Winter Park. So I lived in Winter Park, and it was about like 10 to 15 minutes away from actual downtown Orlando. But every so often I would frequent going into Orlando, but I tried to not do it that much because it is much worse. So let's just take a dive into the actual city and places that I would go to. This is gonna be a shit show. Wow, look at it. It's like so pretty or whatever, said no one. So me being like fresh to cities, I had no fucking idea how to navigate the city streets at all. In fact, I actually got pulled over once because of that. A cop pulled me over and was like, you know, you're going down a one-way, right? I'm like, I don't know where I am, dude. Don't say I don't know where I am to a police officer, okay? That's a bad idea. Okay, so this was the other club that we would go into a lot. This right here, I'm not even joking. This used to be a club called Back Booth. And just like, look at how terrible it is. And also, this was the street that we were walking down, like, cause right here, there's like quite a bit of nightlife that happens on this road. So we were walking down this road I'm pretty sure it was like right over here, actually. We were walking down this road, and Orlando has a huge problem with the homeless population. Like, there is a lot of homeless there. And so this was the time where I was just walking down the fucking road, and well, actually, they've had a couple of really funny run-ins with homeless people. One person just literally asked me for a joke. Like, he didn't want money. You know, he didn't want anything. He was like, hey, tell me a joke. I'm like, you don't want the change in my pocket? No, I want a joke. Tell me the joke. So that was a funny time. But the worst one by far was the time where a guy was just eating a soggy cup of noodles with fucking pickles in it, and like every so often would spit it when he was talking. He's like, I need to get on the bus. You give me some change for the bus so I can get on a bus ticket. And just every time it was just a fucking sea of fucking stuff coming out of his mouth. Also, this was the place where like all of the Playlist Lives happened. So Playlist Live 2011, I was there for. I think I did like I tried to do a stand-up comedy routine. Did not work. Don't look it up. I also, 2012, I DJ'd a show there. That one was really cool because everyone came up on stage. 2013 was cool. I think that was the one where a werewolf and Rebecca Black came up on stage and danced to the music that we were DJing, so that was cool. I think, as anyone knows, Orlando is mostly known for having a Disney World there and then also Universal Studios. Admittedly, I think I only ever went to Disney like twice. I would go to Universal every year for Halloween Horror Nights, and that's about it, because at the time my girlfriend was like really into Halloween Horror Nights, and so yeah, I really just feel like I'm weird in the fact that, like, I don't like going to Disney or Universal. Like, I don't like the feeling of being around fucking a bunch of people. Like, I've had really great memories going to Disney and Universal, and I think I actually watched the Postal Service and Tenacious D live in concert in one of the venues of Universal. But just going to Universal and Disney has always just been really, like, overwhelming for me. But, you know, it especially sucked because, like, everyone goes to Disney. It's like, why do you live in Orlando if you're not going to take advantage of the fact that Disney and Universal are there all the time, you know? So I guess in that regard and a lot of other regards, I just did not assimilate into the Floridian lifestyle, okay? Like I couldn't. So yeah, needless to say, as a non-assimilating Floridian, I did not murder anyone there. I didn't take bath salts and backflip off of a high-rise building. So yeah, I guess I got out before that really kicked in and took over. Wait, Astro Skate? What the fuck? There was a skating rink? Why did I never go there? Oh man, now I'm mad. Well guys, I think that's enough bringing back repressed memories. I don't want to have counseling again as I go through these traumatic life experiences once again. So I guess the bottom line, like the moral of the story of me living in Orlando is sort of like one of those movies where like the main character wants to go and find like the thing that he thinks he loves the most, and then he realizes that the thing he loves the most has been in front of him the whole time. Because after living in Orlando, I just immediately moved back to the Pacific Northwest and now live in Portland. So, and having been here for quite a while, I can say that this has been the most transformative chapters of my life. I feel like me living in Portland has done a lot for like improving my mental health, because Florida, no. Absolutely not. Like, yeah, my mental health was probably the worst it ever was in Florida. Like, it just was not good. I feel like I've grown up a lot in the years that I lived in Orlando to the years that I lived here in Portland. So yeah, I guess if we ever want to do a Portland edition of these videos, I would be more than happy to do that, especially because there are going to be more positive memories associated with the whole Portland saga of my life. And also there will be more fresh since I have just kind of recently experienced them. So yeah. But yeah, guys, that said, hopefully you enjoyed this video despite the subject matter being absolute ass from a straw. But yeah, if you guys liked it, make sure to like this video. Also subscribe to the channel to be told when I make new videos. Also, seeing as though Christmas is right around the corner, I just recently put up some new merch in my merch store, which you can get right now. You can now get a mug with my face on it, the don't put weird shit in your vagina sweater, and the hot liquid sweater, which are all 3 limited edition and will only be available for a short amount of time. So go check it out at deskmerch.com. Also guys, I have a few videos here coming out in the next couple of weeks that I'm very excited for you guys to see. One is another Wish ads video, which of course I got some more Wish products for you guys to show off and review. And the other is a secret project, which I can't tell you about, but that one will be out probably here within the next couple of weeks. So yes, I'm very excited, and as always, keep up to date with all of the things that I'm doing over at my Discord, discord.gg/CaptainNestos. With that said, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day or night, wherever you guys are. Whatever you do, do not move to Florida. I love you all, and fair winds.